What's good, y'all? Brian Norman Jr. posted a picture with Abdullah Mason, and it looks like that's his brother standing next to him. I don't know who this guy is. I looked on Twitter. They said it's Abdullah Mason and his brother. If that's not Abdullah Mason's brother standing next to him, let me know who it is in the comment section. But Brian Norman Jr. is obviously, he's sparring with Abdullah Mason in preparation for this upcoming fight, November 22nd, against Devin the Dream Haney. And my question is, why? Abdullah Mason fights nothing like Devin Haney, right? So why is he training? Why is he sparring with Abdullah Mason in preparation to fight Devin Haney? Abdullah Mason is a knockout artist. I do think Abdullah Mason is a skillful boxer, but Abdullah Mason is very young. I still think he has a lot of growing still to do. And I don't think that that's a smart idea to be sparring Abdullah Mason and his brother preparing for Devin Haney. You need to be sparring with a boxer that moves a lot, jabs, right? Has good defense, right? Like you're bringing in somebody that's like Abdullah Mason. I think he's 20 years old or something like that, bro. Like the kid's not even 21. This is a red flag for me, y'all. And this is what I'm talking about, bro. This is why experience is such a big factor in fights, right? Like when you have two fighters, right? I'm always gonna go with the boxer that is more experienced, that has the better resume, right? Like Devin Haney has fought Vasily Lomachenko, Jorge Linares, two fights with George Kambosos when he was still undefeated after he beat Teofimo Lopez. He went up to 140 and fought Regis Prograis. You know what I'm saying? Like Devin Haney's, you can't forget Gamboa. Devin Haney fought Gamboa. He tried to make a fight happen with Gary Russell Jr. when he was I think 22, 23. Like Devin Haney has a lot of experience, bro. And Abdullah Mason is not going to help you at all fighting Devin Haney. You understand what I'm saying? Like you need to be sparring with boxers that are more experienced, that are older, that are more technically sound. Now listen, I think we would all agree that Abdullah Mason, he's definitely going to be one of the best boxers out of this young generation, but he hasn't hit his prime yet, right? Devin Haney is currently in his prime. You understand what I'm saying? And you sparring a young, let me see how old Abdullah Mason is, bro, because I'm pretty sure he's not even 21 yet. Let me see how old this nigga is, bro. Abdullah Mason is 20. Yeah, he's 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? So now Devin Haney saw this picture. He responded to it. And this is what Devin Haney had to say. So Devin Haney responded and said, me and Mason sparred before. Him and his brother, right? That's why I think this guy that's wearing the gloves in this picture with Brian Norman Jr. and Abdullah Mason, I'm assuming that that's Abdullah Mason's brother, right? I don't recognize him, but I'm assuming that's his brother. So Devin Haney, who has pretty much been in the game for a while now, he's already sparred Abdullah Mason, right? So he's probably laughing at this picture like Brian Norman Jr. think he's scaring me because he's sparring with Abdullah Mason, because Abdullah Mason is out here knocking out everybody he steps in the ring with. He don't even know I already sparred that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like Devin Haney probably sparred Abdullah Mason a year or two ago. You know what I'm saying? And this is why you got to give the edge to Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney has been in fights with punchers. You understand what I'm saying? I think he learned a lot from that Ryan Garcia fight. I think that he learned to always stick to his style. The biggest problem with the Ryan fight, bro, is Devin Haney switched his style to please the fans, right? He stood in the middle of the ring. As soon as the fight started, he got hit with that left hook. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame that on Osterine. You have to blame that on Devin Haney coming into this fight with the wrong game plan. His dad, Bill Haney, shout out to Bill Haney. I think he gave his son the wrong information for that Ryan fight. He told his son to go in there and try to turn Ryan's TV off and stand in the middle of the ring and knock him out, when everybody knows that Devin Haney is not a knockout artist, right? Devin Haney probably hasn't had a knockout since 2019 or some crazy shit, right? Devin Haney is known for being a technical jab first boxer, right? That beats you by the points, right? That usually wins his fight by unanimous decision, right? We've seen Devin Haney box so well. We've seen fights where he's won damn near all 12 rounds of a fight, right? We've seen it with Jose Ramirez, even though it was in nasty fashion. We've seen it when he fought George Kambosos twice. We've seen it when he fought Regis Prograis, right? We've seen it when he fought Jorge Linares. That's Devin Haney's style. And that style is going to give Brian Norman Jr. problems. You understand what I'm saying? Brian Norman Jr., you sparring with Abdullah Mason, bro, it's literally doing nothing for you, bro. It's not doing anything for you. What you need to do is you need to try to spar a person like Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, right? Who else? Let me see. Who else? I would say, who else could Brian Norman Jr. spar in preparation? Shit, I would say Keith Thurman. You know, try to get some sparring in with Keith Thurman. He's an OG, you know what I'm saying? Fighters like that, man. Fighters that's just, you know, experienced, technically sound, that have decent resumes, man. Not no 21-year-old Abdullah Mason and this fucking brother, bro. That shit is stupid. So that's my thoughts on this, man. I'm so excited for this fight between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. because I think it's so funny that we're living in a time right now where boxing fans get so impressed when they see a boxer get a knockout, even if it's just one, right? When they see a boxer that they don't really know about get a brutal knockout, all of a sudden they become big fans of this boxer to the point where they'll have this boxer beat somebody that's been around for years that's already proven, right? Like Brian Norman Jr. is not proven, right? What we do know about Brian Norman Jr. is he ducked Jerron Boots Ennis, right? He still has a lot to prove in the game, right? He hasn't beat nobody that's on that elite level in his weight class, right? We've seen Devin Haney win, lose, or draw, get in the ring with elite fighters. And I think it's so funny that because Brian Norman Jr., you know, stopped Santillion, whatever the fuck that guy's name was, he stopped Jin Sasaki over there in Japan. I find it so funny that he knocked out dudes that a lot of people don't know. And all of a sudden, he's the boogeyman at 147. All of a sudden, he's going to knock out Devin Haney. I think that shit is hilarious, bro. And I want to see it. Listen, if Brian Norman Jr. goes in that ring and stops Devin the Dream Haney, bro, I will give him all of the props. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. A part of me wants to root for Brian Norman Jr. because I'm a Florida boy. Brian Norman Jr. is from Georgia, you know what I'm saying, which is the state right on top of Florida. He from the South, I'm from the South, right? But I've been a fan of Devin Haney since he turned pro. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to switch up on my fighter because he had a bad fight against Ryan Garcia, regardless of the Osterine. I didn't like how Devin Haney fought. I do like the fight. I do like the fact that he finished the fight. I do like the fact that besides the rounds that he got dropped in, he won. I think he won a majority of the rounds besides the ones where he got dropped, right? He did get dropped 3 or 4 times. And I think if Devin Haney would have went into that fight fighting his style, I think he would have won that fight by unanimous decision. But listen, I'm not going to switch up on my fighter. I don't like how he fought against Jose Ramirez, but I'm not going to switch up on my fighter like you niggas do, bro. You niggas, your fighter has 1 or 2 bad performances. And you know what I hate about boxing fans, bro? I hate the fact that when Errol Spence Jr. lost to Terrence Crawford, right? It's almost like everybody that was rooting for Errol Spence switched up on Errol Spence and became Terrence Buck Crawford fans. I think that is nasty, bro. Like, you know, and what makes it worse is how Errol Spence hasn't fought in 2 years and everybody's saying, oh, he's never going to come back. He's going to retire. Like, that's nasty, bro. Like, how can you be a true fan of Errol Spence and switch up on him after that KO from Crawford, bro? Because when you sit back and think about what Errol Spence did in his career, right? Beat Mikey Garcia, had a close fight with Sean Porter. I do think Sean Porter won that fight, but he beat Sean Porter. He beat Danny Garcia. He beat the shit out of Ugas, who beat Manny Pacquiao. Remember, Errol Spence was supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao, but he had to pull out because he had an eye injury. Ugas ended up beating Pacquiao. Spence ended up beating the shit out of Ugas. You know what I'm saying? like Errol Spence brought a lot to the sport of boxing, bro. Like when Errol Spence was undefeated before he fought Terrence Buck Crawford, bro. I remember like we thought that Errol Spence was gonna fight Canelo and beat Canelo, bro. Like that's how dominant Errol was, bro. Like Errol Spence was like the Terminator of boxing at the time, bro. And you know, when he got into that situation with the car accident, the fact that he almost lost his life when he flew out of that Ferrari, bro. He came right back, didn't take a tune-up, fought Danny Garcia and beat the shit out of Danny Garcia. Like, bro, I could never switch him on Errol Spence, bro. I'm always going to be a fan of Errol Spence as far as boxing. And to this day, I still hate, bro. I never was a fan of Terrence Crawford. I don't like nothing about Terrence Crawford, bro. Like on some DMX shit, I don't like how he looks. I don't like his face. I don't like his hair. None of that. I don't like nothing. I don't like nothing about Terrence Buck Crawford, bro. I could never switch up on Errol Spence and all of a sudden I'm a Terrence Buck Crawford fan. Nah, I want to see Terrence Crawford get knocked the fuck out by Canelo because of what he did to Errol. You know what I'm saying? So to everybody listening to this video, man, if one of your favorite boxers loses or has a bad performance, don't switch up, bro. If they lose once or twice, don't switch up. Stay loyal, bro, because that's pussy nigga shit. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm picking Devin Haney to beat Brian Norman Jr. May the best man win. And like I said, if Norman pulls it off and he knocks out Haney, right, I'm going to give him all the props in the world, man. Let me know what y'all think about this video. What do you guys think about Brian Norman Jr. training with Abdullah Mason and his brother? Let me know in the comment section. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up the video. Most importantly, leave a comment. Thank you for watching. It's your boy Wavy. I'm out.